Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
Lin Moyu increasingly felt the desolation of outer space. He had traversed an unknown distance without encountering even a single star. The light from the stars shone weakly, without any warmth. The distance was too great, and all the warmth was extinguished by the vast expanse. The star in his vision seemed to grow larger, indicating that the distance between them was gradually decreasing. Lin Moyu was very patient, step by step comprehending the space law, step by step approaching the star. He didn't know how long he had been walking, but the star in his vision finally became large enough for him to see clearly. The distance between them was still very far, but the star was large enough to be seen clearly. How can it be so big? Lin Moyu swore he had never seen such a gigantic star. The entire star emitted a dim red light, like an aging giant emitting its last light. Lin Moyu roughly estimated that the star's diameter exceeded 1 billion kilometers, comparable to a small galaxy. As he got closer, he could feel its immense size even more. An ancient aura hit him, carrying the chill of old age. Lin Moyu thought to himself, it has reached the end of its life. This was a natural feeling, without any reason, just a pure intuition. Finally, Lin Moyu came within 10,000 miles of it. Section 2208 23,692,209. His vision was now enveloped in dim red light. Unlike other stars, its flames were not intense. The flames did not erupt or flicker, they simply flowed like an ocean. And they did not stir any waves, remaining very calm. These flames. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed slightly. The sea of flames before him looked more like burning blood. It resembled the Hellfire River to some extent. Suddenly, flames surged, and a vortex appeared in the sea of flames. From the vortex, an enormous eye emerged. The eye's diameter exceeded 100 million kilometers, even larger than the eye of the undead gaze. Lin Moyu was startled, his entire body glowing with purple and gold, entering a state of alert. An eye appeared within the star, and Lin Moyu immediately realized. The star before him was a starry sky beast. To be precise, it was a star that had gained sentience and become a starry sky beast. Purple gold body, how nostalgic. A booming voice echoed in his soul. The voice was not aggressive, just heavy and deafening. The deafening voice carried a sense of ancientness, not unpleasant. The star's voice came again, little one, don't be afraid. I am a star that has gained sentience, just lived a bit longer, and pose no threat to you. The other party had instantly recognized the purple gold body, making Lin Moyu curious about its identity. He saluted, Junior Lin Moyu of the human race greets Senior. The enormous eye blinked, no need to be so polite. You can call me Red Star. It's rare to see a human in my twilight years. Little one, let me ask you, how is the human race doing now? Lin Moyu replied, thank you for your concern, Senior. The human race is doing well. Red Star seemed to sigh in relief upon hearing this, that's good. Back when the Black Blood Great World invaded, all realms rebelled, but we still made it through. Lin Moyu's heart trembled, the star before him was talking about ancient times. He had just answered about the human race's situation over the past 100,000 years. Lin Moyu asked, Senior Red Star, have you existed since ancient times? A hint of nostalgia appeared in the red eye, ancient times, is that what you call it? It seems to have slept on and off for many years. Little one, can you tell me how many years have passed since the Black Blood Great World invasion? Lin Moyu said, I can't remember the exact number of years, but we call that era ancient times, roughly 2 million years ago. The giant eye blinked twice, and Red Star sighed, 2 million years, indeed a long time. But the Great World still exists, and the human race still exists. What does it matter if time is long or short? Little one, how many Supremes, Heavenly Lords, and Tao Lords are there in the human race now? How many Supremes, Heavenly Lords, and Tao Lords? These three questions completely stunned Lin Moyu. He finally understood that Supreme was not the highest. Above it were Heavenly Lord and Tao Lord. Supreme was already incredibly powerful, so Heavenly Lord must be even stronger, and Tao Lord. It must be unimaginably powerful. Lin Moyu said, none. None? Red Star questioned. Lin Moyu nodded, currently, the strongest in the human race are Supremes. There are no Supremes in the entire great world. I once met a Supreme who said the divine path is broken. Until it is rebuilt, no new Supremes can be born. As for the heavenly lords and Tao lords you mentioned, I've never even heard of them. Red Star's giant eye narrowed slightly. Little one, step back and let me take a look. Lin Moyu immediately retreated, stopping only after moving over 1 billion kilometers away. Red Star suddenly burst into a strong light, the sea of flames surging, dyeing a large part of the starry sky red. The giant eye shot out a red beam, piercing the distant starry sky. Moments later, the flames disappeared, and everything returned to normal. Red Star sighed, the divine path is indeed broken. No wonder there are no supremes. Only a Saint Venerable could see the divine path. Clearly, this Red Star Senior was at least a Saint Venerable, possibly even a supreme. If it were a supreme, it might be the strongest being of the current era. Lin Moyu said, I once met Blackstone Supreme. Before his death, he entrusted me with the task of rebuilding the divine path. Red Star chuckled, rebuilding the divine path, how difficult. Lin Moyu said, no matter how difficult, it must be done. If the Black Blood Great World invades again, without supremes, we cannot resist. To this day, the Black Blood Great World still eyed the Great World covetously. If they invaded again one day, the Great World would be in danger. The Great World needed supremes, and the human race needed supremes. Red Star said, back then, the Black Blood Great World didn't have it easy either. Our Great World's strength even surpassed the Black Blood Great World. If it weren't for the rebellion of all realms, the final result should have been our Great World counter-attacking the Black Blood Great World, bringing it under our control. Red Star spoke with conviction, even with a hint of longing. It was clear how powerful the Great World was in ancient times. Not only could it rule all realms, but even the mighty Black Blood Great World could be turned from defense to offense. Lin Moyu didn't know what had happened in ancient times, so he said nothing. At this moment, Red Star continued, little one, I just saw some chaotic auras. It seems the Great World is a bit chaotic, with some messy things besides the human race. Red Star had lived since ancient times and had somehow ended up in outer space. He had spent most of his time in slumber and was unaware of recent events. Lin Moyu briefly recounted the events of the past 100,000 years, though he only knew the well-known ones. After hearing this, Red Star's anger surged, and a tangible fury, accompanied by flames, erupted in the starry sky. What 4 great source clans, what demon clan, all nonsense. Red Star was extremely angry, his aura like a giant wave, accompanied by endless flames, surging in the starry sky. At this moment, Lin Moyu truly felt that Red Star was a supreme. Although he seemed slightly weaker than Blackstone Supreme, he far surpassed a Saint Venerable. There was actually a supreme who had lived from ancient times to the present. By accidentally entering outer space, he encountered Red Star. Was this fate? After being angry for a while, Red Star finally calmed down. Lin Moyu immediately asked, Senior Red Star, can you tell me about the ancient times? Red Star did not refuse, his eyes revealing a hint of nostalgia. That era was the most prosperous era. Our world, called the Great World, should more accurately be called the Rune Great World. The entire world is actually composed of a supreme and great rune. The Great World rune is also the goal of every cultivator, and it is also the goal of the Black Blood Great World. We were very powerful, conquering one world after another, bringing these worlds under our control. Until we encountered the Black Blood Great World. Red Star began to tell the story of the Great World. He had lived for countless years, being a star, his lifespan was extremely long, enough to live for tens of billions of years. But he had once encountered a great change, his lifespan drastically shortened, and now he was not far from his end. His tone was filled with the twilight of life, flowing with the passage of time. Through his narration, Lin Moyu roughly understood the once great world and some events that had occurred in it. The once great world was very prosperous, with vast star regions and many strong beings. Countless strong beings conquered other worlds, obtaining the origins of those worlds and integrating them into the Great World. The Great World thus became broader and stronger. A powerful world could have more strong beings, reaching higher peaks. Thus, the Great World became increasingly powerful, conquering more and more worlds. This was a positive cycle, and the Great World would eventually become invincible. Until later, they encountered the Black Blood Great World. The Black Blood Great World was equally powerful. The term, Great World, was actually the same as Great World. Only a world that reached a certain level could be called a Great World. Worlds like the Tulu World and the Soul Spirit World were not qualified. In the mouth of the Black Blood Great World, the Great World was also called the Rune Great World. The collision of the two great worlds was actually a collision of the strong beings within them. The collision of the two worlds began a brutal war that lasted for tens of thousands of years. This war belonged to the truly strong, with participants at least at the Other Shore realm. The Other Shore realm beings were just cannon fodder. The Saint Venerables were the main force, and the true main force was the Supremes. Even stronger than the Supremes were the Heavenly Lords, who were the high-end combat power. Time and again, the collisions and battles caused heavy losses on both sides. Supremes fell one after another, and Heavenly Lords perished. Originally, the Great World had the upper hand and even had the opportunity to counterattack into the Black Blood Great World. If they could occupy the Black Blood Great World and seize its origin, the Great World would undergo a transformation, possibly giving birth to a Tao Lord. But at that time, the worlds that had been conquered by the Great World simultaneously rebelled. They tied up part of the Great World's power, causing the Great World to fall behind. The war became even more brutal. Red Star participated in the war at that time, was severely injured, and almost fell. Later, he left the battlefield and survived until now. Although he was a starry sky beast, he was also a member of the Great World. He once illuminated a huge galaxy, with countless human cultivators practicing under his light and heat. He was a member of the Great World and also a member of the human race. Through his narration, Lin Moyu learned some secrets. The four great source clans did not exist, and the various races did not exist either. In that era, the Great World only had the human race. As for how the four great source clans came to be, Red Star did not know. That was after the ancient era. He had retreated after being severely injured and fell into a deep sleep, sleeping for millions of years. In a million years, times changed, and he was in outer space. He felt the world was peaceful, knew the war was over, and went back to sleep. He slept and woke up like this, never asking about worldly matters again. Perhaps the Great War of that year had really severely injured him, making him unwilling to move, only wanting to quietly wait for the end of his life. Lin Moyu vaguely felt that there might be some secrets from that year, but Red Star did not say, and he did not ask. Through Red Star's narration, Lin Moyu finally understood all the events of the ancient times. He also knew the origins of the current races. Races like the Demon Clan, Golden Eagle Clan, and Three Silver Clan were actually the beings from the worlds conquered by the Great World. Some worlds' beings were exterminated in the battle with the Black Blood Great World, while some survived and became the current myriad races after the Great War. Many of these races were naturally hostile to the human race, which was understandable. After all, they had been conquered by the human race. It would be strange if they did not hate the human race. But as Red Star said, the human race did not kill the innocent when conquering other races. The human race only needed the origin power of each world to enhance the Great World's origin. The human race also gave them a stable living space. In fact, if the human race did not conquer them, they would eventually be conquered by other great worlds. Weakness is the original sin. This phrase applies everywhere. Red Star said, back then, the few heavenly lords of the human race were too soft-hearted. If they had exterminated them all, there would have been no rebellion from the various races later. So remember, being soft-hearted to the enemy is being cruel to yourself. Do not have mercy. The greatest evil is mercy. The greatest evil is mercy. This phrase is heavy, but it has some truth. Lin Moyu firmly remembered this phrase, but he had his own thoughts and subjectivity and would not be influenced by others. Lin Moyu said, Senior, I have another question. I once saw some undead legions in ancient ruins. And these legions had a master. Do you know who this master is? Since the first time he entered the mysterious manor, Lin Moyu saw the information about the master in a journal. Later, he saw similar information several times. Combined with his own spells and undead army, Lin Moyu had an indescribable feeling about this mysterious master. He always felt that he seemed to have some connection with that master. Red Star's eyes blinked, and after thinking for a moment, he said, I have also heard of the master you mentioned. But it is only hearsay. I have never actually seen him. I was also curious once, but unfortunately, there was no answer. Perhaps when you reach the Heavenly Lord level, you will know. Unfortunately, I am only a Supreme, and the weakest Supreme at that. I withdrew from the battlefield too early and am not very clear about what happened later. Red Star spoke in a low voice, his words somewhat evasive. Lin Moyu felt he might know something but could not say. Is there a restriction? Lin Moyu thought to himself. What restriction could make a Supreme keep silent? Was that master so mysterious? In the current world, there were no Supremes, let alone Heavenly Lords. It seemed this secret could not be unraveled for now. The two chatted for a long time, and Lin Moyu learned more about the ancient times from Red Star. Combined with what he already knew, he roughly understood the changes in the Great World over the years. Connecting one event to another, he figured out the evolution of the Great World. Lin Moyu bid farewell to Red Star, who pointed out the way back for him. For Red Star, even in outer space he would not lose his way, because he could see the divine path, the broken divine path. Lin Moyu invited Red Star to return to the current human race, but Red Star said he had just woken up and hadn't fully recovered, so he couldn't move for now. When he felt like going, he would naturally go. Red Star also told Lin Moyu that he didn't have much time left, and even a small movement would consume a lot of time. Only by maintaining his current state could he live a bit longer. Lin Moyu naturally understood, for a special existence like Red Star, who had been severely injured in the past, being able to live this long was already remarkable. Lin Moyu set off on his journey back, not knowing how far the distance was. Even Red Star didn't know. Red Star could only see the direction of the divine path, but couldn't see the distance clearly. He had forgotten how far he had flown when he left the battlefield years ago. He only remembered that he had fallen into a deep sleep while flying. Lin Moyu could only hope it wasn't too far. The surroundings were vast and pitch black, without a single star in sight. Behind him was the dim light emitted by Red Star, which grew fainter as the distance increased. The surroundings became increasingly dark, and Lin Moyu's body glowed with purple light, becoming the only bright spot. Section 2210 23,692,211. The purple light couldn't keep up with him and was left far behind, leaving behind dots of light. Step by step, each step covering 150 million kilometers, exceeding the speed of light. His gaze swept through the pitch-black world, his mind churning with Red Star's words. This was outer space, and outer space should be desolate. But in ancient times, outer space was not desolate. There were also stars in outer space, and people lived there, just fewer in number. The people who lived here then were called the people of outer space. Later, when the war between the two worlds broke out, it didn't first affect the human race's core, but outer space. Outer space was thoroughly devastated and collapsed. Whether it was collisions at the other shore, Saint Venerable, or Supreme Level, they could all shatter the starry sky. Outer space was completely swept clean, and from then on truly became desolate. Later, as the war spread towards the center of the Great World, outer space was also completely abandoned. Some people retreated from the battlefield, like Red Star, who could no longer participate in the war, so they retreated to outer space. Outer space was vast, and they were also looking for a new path. According to Red Star, the human race's situation at that time was not optimistic. After the rebellion of various races, the human race retreated step by step, losing large areas of star regions. So the human race made various preparations, seeking a way out for themselves. If they really lost, perhaps they could hide in a corner of outer space and slowly plan their comeback. The human race was strong, and as long as they had enough time, there was a chance. At the same time, many strong beings who were severely injured would also enter outer space. Many of them would die in this vast, dark world, leaving behind their legacies. Perhaps lucky descendants could find their graves. Lin Moyu felt that every step taken by the human race's ancestors had meaning. They often thought 3 steps ahead when taking one step. Before making a decision, they had already thought about the consequences. The vast outer space is like a graveyard, burying who knows how many years. No wonder so many people enter outer space every year to seek opportunities. Those are all legacies left behind by the human race's ancestors. It's a pity to leave them to those guys. The rebellion of various races, those guys are all traitors. In Red Star's narration, after the human race conquered various worlds, they actually treated them quite well. They still let them live in their own worlds, didn't interfere with them at all, and would even help them resist dangers. Under the cruel laws of survival, the human race's actions were already extremely benevolent. But unexpectedly, these races launched a rebellion, wanting to exterminate the human race. Even after the Black Blood Great World was repelled, they still didn't give up, trying to eliminate the human race again. They almost succeeded. If it weren't for Shao Zhanshan, the human race would have been gone. If they had really succeeded, it would have been too ridiculous. The human race didn't lose to the Black Blood Great World, but ended up being destroyed by these small fry. For what has been done, a price must be paid. Lin Moyu's killing intent rose, and he had already made a decision in his heart. He wouldn't let any of these rebellious races go. After walking for an unknown period, a ball of light suddenly appeared before his eyes. A sound like singing reached his ears. How can there be singing? This singing seems to contain some kind of rule. Lin Moyu's heart tightened, and he instantly became alert. As the light approached, it became clearer. When he finally saw the true nature of the light, Lin Moyu couldn't help but frown. Is this a ship? A ship, a sailing ship. The sailing ship rose and fell in the pitch-black starry sky, as if on a vast ocean, riding the waves forward. Beneath it, space rolled up waves, rippling out thousands of layers. Lin Moyu's eyes showed shock. The space law. What was propelling this sailing ship forward was indeed the space law. Lin Moyu switched to the undead vision but didn't see any souls. There was no one on the ship, and it was unknown what was singing. In such a strange situation, there was only one possibility. That was that the ship had a spirit, a treasure spirit. Could it be that this is a space-type treasure, and moreover, a space-type treasure that has given birth to a treasure spirit? Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and he quickly followed. He got closer and closer to the sailing ship, and the space law emanating from the ship became more and more obvious. Lin Moyu felt the space law as if he were looking at the most wonderful thing in the world, unable to tear himself away. Compared to the space law triggered by the wings of the undead, this sailing ship was obviously more attractive. Finally, Lin Moyu came to the front of the sailing ship. The sailing ship wasn't large, less than 10 meters long, just a tiny dot compared to the human race's warships. Lin Moyu reached out his hand, wanting to touch the sailing ship. His hand passed through the sailing ship, unable to touch it at all. It was as if they were in different spaces, visible but untouchable. Lin Moyu tried several times, all with the same result. It's not here. Lin Moyu suddenly understood that the sailing ship wasn't here. This was just a projection of it, and no one knew its true location. Not being here meant it couldn't be captured. Lin Moyu could only follow behind the sailing ship, feeling the space law it emanated. The sailing ship seemed to sense that someone was following it, and its song became urgent, its speed increasing. Lin Moyu pursued relentlessly, but the distance between them was rapidly widening. The wings of the undead spread out with a whoosh, and a vast amount of soul power poured into them. The wings of the undead vibrated violently, and a strong space law was born from within. Lin Moyu crashed through the space in front of him, pursuing at an astonishing speed. After using the wings of the undead, Lin Moyu's speed increased at least several times. Tens of millions of miles of starry sky passed in the blink of an eye. He completely disregarded the consumption of soul power, and in an instant, he was behind the sailing ship again. At this moment, the sailing ship accelerated again, getting faster and faster. Lin Moyu pursued with all his might, but the distance between them was still widening. Watching the sailing ship disappear from his sight, Lin Moyu reluctantly put away the wings of the undead. Lin Moyu had lost this chase, losing in the control of the space law. Although the other party was just a treasure, it was clearly stronger than him. Dim light shone from not far away, and Lin Moyu turned his head to see Red Star. He didn't expect that after a chase, he would end up back near Red Star. Red Star's voice sounded, "Little one, why are you back again?" Lin Moyu said, "Junior was chasing a sailing ship and unknowingly returned here." Red Star chuckled, "Sailing ship, that's the life treasure of the space-breaking supreme, called the space-breaking boat. It has intelligence, you can't catch up to it." Red Star told Lin Moyu some stories about the space-breaking boat. Its owner was the space-breaking supreme, one of the few supremes in the human race who had comprehended the space law. The space-breaking supreme's combat power was unparalleled among all supremes. In one great battle, the space-breaking supreme, with his own strength, fought to the death against a heavenly lord from the Black Blood Great World. For a supreme to fight a heavenly lord to the death shows how powerful the space-breaking supreme was. In this battle, the space-breaking supreme was severely injured and near death. He finally came to outer space and chose to bury himself here. No one knows where he buried himself. Red Star recalled, "About 1,000,000 years ago, when I had just awakened, it appeared. It sang the soul-summoning song, constantly flying through this outer space. Unfortunately, no matter how loud it sang the soul-summoning song, the space-breaking supreme would not return." According to Red Star, the soul-summoning song was the most popular song in the human race back then. The soul-summoning song was created by a heavenly lord who was proficient in the soul law. It was said to be able to condense beliefs, gather soul fragments, and resurrect the dead. In that era, there was a saying that after death, the soul would scatter in the world. If the soul could be summoned back, there was a chance to resurrect the dead. However, more people thought it was just the heavenly lord's way of comforting everyone. But at that time, many people still sang it, preferring to believe it existed rather than not. During the most intense period of the battle, the soul-summoning song was also the loudest. Lin Moyu listened to Red Star's words, carefully savoring the soul-summoning song he had just heard. He vaguely felt a sense of suppression, like a kind of calling, stirring strong emotions in his heart. He hummed for a while according to his memory. His originally calm soul suddenly became somewhat agitated. It seemed that in some mysterious way, it resonated with certain existences. For a moment, countless voices sounded in his soul's ears. He immediately stopped, and all the voices ceased. Red Star said, "I forgot to tell you, the soul summoning song must be sung by those above the other shore realm. You're not capable yet." Lin Moyu had already realized this point. Just trying it briefly had made his soul uneasy. Bidding farewell to Red Star again, Lin Moyu set out on his second journey home. Just from the soul summoning song, he could feel the intensity of that battle back then. How the human race counterattacked after being suppressed and finally achieved victory. Red Star didn't reveal the details of the battle back then. Many things must have happened at that time. Red Star spoke too generally, but for such things, one had to see them personally to have a real feeling. Perhaps everyone's feelings would be different. Lin Moyu thought of that ancient talisman that had once taken him back to that era. If there was an ancient talisman that could take him to see the great battle of ancient times, to see the glory of that time, it would be a wonderful thing. This time, until the light from Red Star behind him completely disappeared and the world fell into total darkness, nothing happened. Lin Moyu walked further and further, the surroundings becoming increasingly silent. There was no sound in the starry sky. Even with his keen soul, he couldn't sense anything. Lin Moyu advanced in the direction Red Star had pointed, each step covering 1.5 million kilometers. He didn't know how long he had been walking or how far he had gone. He was still in outer space. Outer space was truly vast, beyond imagination. Even in ancient times, those Supremes couldn't fully explore outer space. Conquering various worlds, sending their origins to the Great World, making the Great World constantly expand and strengthen. For a long time, this outer space was constantly expanding. The Supremes couldn't possibly explore the expanded space in real time. Moreover, absorbing the origins of other worlds would also give rise to some strange things. For example, some star beasts that shouldn't exist in the Great World appeared, as well as some strange dangerous areas. All possibilities existed. It was precisely because of this that when the war was going badly, the human race decided to let some severely injured Supremes and Saint Venerables retreat to outer space. Indeed, there were some areas that no one knew about. Much of what Red Star said was also hearsay. Because he himself had never entered the deepest parts of outer space, he had only heard about it from other Supremes. Once, there were stars here, even if not many, there were some. But now, this place has become truly desolate. A group of skeleton generals appeared in the starry sky, scattering in all directions. Lin Moyu would release a group of skeleton generals at regular intervals, letting them explore outer space. When the sense weakened, he would recall the skeleton generals. So far, he had released about 10,000 groups of skeleton generals, each group consisting of 10,000. In other words, there were already 100 million skeleton generals searching in outer space. They searched in all directions, aimlessly, but very carefully. If any living beings appeared, they couldn't escape their notice. Unfortunately, after days of searching, there were no discoveries. Even the space-breaking boat that had appeared before didn't show up again. If a Supreme who controlled the space rule chose to bury himself, others simply couldn't find him. Group after group of skeleton generals were sent out. After more than 10 days, the number of skeleton generals in outer space had exceeded 200 million. At this moment, Lin Moyu could faintly see some light, which was the faint white light transmitted back by the skeleton generals. Suddenly, the soul summoning song sounded in Lin Moyu's ears. He abruptly stopped and looked towards the source of the sound. A coffin was floating there, motionless in the starry sky. The sound was coming from inside the coffin. In a sense, outer space was also the burial ground for ancient powerhouses. It wasn't strange for some coffins to appear. The coffin was less than 10,000 meters away from Lin Moyu, a distance that was practically right in front of him. Lin Moyu vaguely felt that this coffin looked familiar. He thought of the Star-Shattering Supreme. He had personally placed the Star-Shattering Supreme in a coffin. Later, the Star-Shattering Supreme took his coffin and returned to the embrace of the Great World's rune. The Black Stone Supreme also returned in the end, which had once made Lin Moyu believe that all Supremes would return after death. Yet the coffin before him still existed. Did this mean that the owner of this coffin was not a Supreme, but a Saint Venerable, or even someone at the other shore realm? Besides this, there seemed to be no better explanation. Under the undead vision, there was no living thing in the coffin. Could it be that even the coffin has gained intelligence? Lin Moyu approached, and the coffin suddenly lit up. The coffin was densely covered with runes, forming a complex rune array. The lid of the coffin slowly opened, the whole process seeming somewhat eerie. Swords flew out from the coffin, 100 swords in total, their sharp tips pointing at Lin Moyu. Each sword exuded an ancient and primitive aura. They seemed to have been carved by countless years, appearing somewhat broken, yet still sharp. The swords rang out, as if warning Lin Moyu not to come closer. Even the soul summoning song seemed to become more urgent. Lin Moyu could feel the power of these 100 swords. Each sword could easily kill a peak god venerable. Lin Moyu didn't want to test them with his body. In fact, his best choice now would be to retreat immediately. Suddenly, as if divinely inspired, he began to hum the soul summoning song. The rhythmic tune flew from his mouth, and his soul heard countless faint voices. It was as if countless people were suddenly speaking around his soul. Lin Moyu endured the sensation and continued to hum the soul summoning song. Gradually, his voice merged with the faintly heard soul summoning song. Soul, return. A low shout echoed through the starry sky. Soul, return. Soul, return. The low shouts echoed heavily, filled with sorrow, reverberating through the starry sky. The starry sky before him suddenly brightened, and countless coffins appeared in his sight. Thousands upon thousands of coffins were neatly arranged, forming the shape of a sword. Around the coffins, hundreds of other coffins floated, guarding them like sentinels. The lids of the 100 coffins on the outermost perimeter all opened, and sharp swords flew out from within. Tens of thousands of sharp swords formed a sword array, swirling and dancing in the starry sky. Soul, return. Soul, return. Accompanied by the sorrowful voices, the sound of the swords became increasingly intense. Lin Moyu watched in shock. Each chant of soul, return, was a cry from the ancient sages. Even in death, they did not forget to summon the souls of the deceased, hoping to bring back their fallen comrades. The sword array danced in the starry sky, continuously emitting the sound of swords. At the same time, Lin Moyu received a message. We are disciples of the Soul Sword Sect. The Soul Sword Sect fought to the death, never retreating even in the face of annihilation. The sect master protected us with his remnant soul, burying us in the outer domain. We constantly chant the soul summoning song, hoping that one day, the souls will return, and we can once again enjoy the prosperity. May our human race live long and prosper. May our human race live long and prosper. May our human race live long and prosper. Lin Moyu solemnly bowed to the sword array. He didn't know the grand rituals of the ancient human race, so he used the highest etiquette of the current human race to pay his respects to the sages. Lin Moyu bowed 3 times in succession and then said loudly, the human race will prosper forever, and all traitors will be exterminated, leaving none behind. It seemed that the sword array heard Lin Moyu's words, and one of the coffins among the thousands slowly opened its lid. A sharp sword flew out, instantly arriving in front of Lin Moyu. The sword hummed, and Lin Moyu understood its meaning. He reached out and grasped the hilt. I will take you with me and exterminate all traitors. Then, with a movement of his soul power, he left his mark on the sword. The sword buzzed and transformed into a stream of light, flying into Lin Moyu's forehead. In the next second, it appeared in Lin Moyu's soul world. At the same time, information about the sword was transmitted to his soul. Soul Extermination Sword. Type, Soul Treasure. Level, Other Shore Realm. It's actually a soul treasure. An Other Shore Realm soul treasure. Lin Moyu didn't expect that a few chants of the soul summoning song and 3 bows would result in obtaining an Other Shore Realm soul treasure. It was truly a great gain. However, such a thing could only be obtained by the human race. If it were another race trying to force their way in, the sharp swords of the Soul Sword Sect would teach them a lesson. Not to mention a god venerable, even an Other Shore Realm being would likely be torn to pieces by the myriad swords. Lin Moyu bowed again to the thousands of coffins. The sword array retracted, the light faded, and the thousands of coffins once again disappeared into the darkness. Only one coffin still glowed. Its lid opened slightly, and a piece of purple jade flew out, landing right in Lin Moyu's hand. Though we are dead, the inheritance must not be broken. With this simple sentence, Lin Moyu understood what was inside the purple jade. It was the inheritance from the Soul Sword Sect, now entrusted to him. Lin Moyu said loudly, rest assured, seniors, the inheritance will not be broken. All the coffins disappeared, invisible to the naked eye. Lin Moyu knew they had left, and it was unknown when they would appear again. Lin Moyu examined the purple jade and found that it indeed contained an inheritance. The inheritance was called the Soul Sword, a dual cultivation of the Soul Law and the Law of Gold. From the initial super god realm to the highest supreme realm, it was very complete. If a suitable candidate could be found, this would be an extremely powerful and terrifying inheritance. Since ancient times, the human race had experienced several interruptions in their lineage. Many powerful inheritances were lost, so obtaining a powerful inheritance now was extremely exciting. The Soul Sword sect must have been a powerful sect in ancient times. Lin Moyu could feel that the owners of those coffins were at least at the other shore realm, possibly even Saint Venerables or Supremes. From the strength of the Soul Sword sect alone, one could see the prosperity of the human race in ancient times. Alas, what a pity. Lin Moyu sighed lightly and continued on his journey. After another 10 days, he released another 100 million skeleton generals. Finally, some skeleton generals returned with unusual information. They had encountered a mountain. In the desolate outer space, there was actually a mountain. Lin Moyu marked his location and immediately rushed over. When he got closer, Lin Moyu realized it wasn't a mountain at all. It was a star that had been severely damaged. A sharp sword had cut across the star, turning it into a mountain. Although the sword had only cut the surface, its terrifying power had penetrated the star's interior, rendering it lifeless. This star must have gained sentience like Red Star. It's no longer a star but a giant starry sky beast. Unfortunately, it's dead. Lin Moyu sighed and was about to leave when he suddenly heard a faint sound in his soul. Thump. It was a sound similar to a heartbeat, particularly clear in the dark and quiet starry sky. He stopped, activated the undead vision, but found nothing. Switching to the Eye of the Soul, he saw countless lines of law passing through the star, but still found nothing. Lin Moyu couldn't help but wonder if he had misheard. Thump. The faint sound came again, and this time Lin Moyu was sure he hadn't misheard. Let's go take a look. A large number of skeleton generals flew into the star. After experiencing a great battle, the star was full of cracks, forming numerous canyons, with the interior resembling a maze. The skeleton generals flew in, searching for the correct path. During this time, the thumping sound could be heard intermittently. After half a day of searching, the skeleton generals finally found the correct path. A map formed in Lin Moyu's mind. The skeleton generals hadn't encountered any danger along the way, but Lin Moyu remained cautious. Many cultivators died in outer space every year. It was not a safe place. Following the correct path, Lin Moyu navigated the winding maze and entered the center of the star. Thump. The heartbeat-like sound became more pronounced. Finally, Lin Moyu reached the destination, the same place the skeleton generals had reached. This is a barrier. What appeared before him was a barrier, something unique to the demon clan. The presence of a barrier here indicated the presence of the demon clan. Every year, many demon clan cultivators also entered outer space, so their presence here was not surprising. Lin Moyu realized that the barrier had blocked the undead vision. Something was hidden inside the barrier, but only by entering it could he find out what it was. Judging by the strength of the barrier, the demon who set it up should be a god venerable. As long as it's not an other shore realm being, it's manageable. Lin Moyu's body glowed with purple and gold, activating the purple-gold body to its extreme, and he punched out. A pure physical attack, one punch to break 10,000 laws. With one punch, the barrier roared and trembled continuously. Lin Moyu followed up with punch after punch, each one landing solidly. Perhaps having stayed in the dark starry sky for too long, Lin Moyu seemed to be venting his frustration. In just 2 seconds, he had thrown over 1,000 punches. Although he hadn't shattered the barrier, he felt quite satisfied. Then the skeleton generals followed up, unleashing endless sword energy on the barrier. The barrier persisted for a few seconds before shattering with a loud crash. Courting death. A demon, its entire body ice blue like crystal, rushed out from behind the barrier, its fur standing on end, emitting countless cold auras. The entire space instantly froze, and thick ice formed on Lin Moyu and the skeleton generals. Lin Moyu and the skeleton general were instantly frozen into ice. The ice-blue demon looked coldly at Lin Moyu. A mere first-level god venerable dares to come here, courting death. Suddenly, his pupils contracted, and he quickly retreated. The ice shattered with a loud bang, and Lin Moyu, surrounded by purple-gold light, walked out completely unscathed. Ice Demon, 9th level god venerable. Lin Moyu stated his identity in an extremely calm tone. Among the demon lineage, the Ice Demon and the Hellfire Demon were opposing factions. The two demons were always at odds, but both were extremely powerful, belonging to the main combat class within the demon race. Ice demons were born with the ability to control ice, and upon reaching adulthood, they directly mastered the ice law. Even without cultivation, they could at least become true gods. With a bit of cultivation, becoming a god king was not a problem, and reaching god venerable was also not difficult. However, such highly talented races all had the same problem. It was difficult for them to reach the other shore realm. As far as Lin Moyu knew, there was only one ice demon in the demon race who had reached the other shore realm, but there were quite a few at the 9th level of god venerable. The ice demon looked at Lin Moyu. You are not a first level god venerable. Lin Moyu's gaze fell behind him. You are here for that, aren't you? Behind the ice demon was a transparent box, and inside the stone box was a peculiar gem. The peculiar gem emitted a myriad of colors, similar to the myriad color water, encompassing all the colors in the world. Any color you could imagine could be found in the gem. Moreover, it was even more magical than the myriad color water. If you looked at it and focused on white, the gem would appear white. If you wanted to see black, you would see black. If you didn't think of anything or your attention was scattered, the gem would display a myriad of colors. Lin Moyu was instantly captivated by the gem, and the ice demon wanted to stop him but was too late. At this moment, the gem trembled slightly. Bang! A crisp sound rang out, and without the barrier's obstruction, the heartbeat-like sound became even clearer. Seeing the blue gem, Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat, and his eyes instantly lit up with joy. It's actually here. The Scourge Staff had 5 gems, and now only the Soul Gem was in his possession. The peculiar gem before him was identical to the Soul Gem. The moment Lin Moyu saw it, he recognized its identity. Like the Soul Gem, it was also a part of the Scourge Staff. The Ice Demon noticed the change in Lin Moyu's expression, and his face turned extremely cold, with a surge of icy intent. This is mine, he growled through gritted teeth. The world began to freeze, stars were frozen, and thick white mist appeared in the starry sky. The mist was extremely cold, deadly upon contact. Lin Moyu was enveloped in purple gold light, his purple gold body shining brightly, blocking the cold. Having found a gem belonging to the Scourge Staff, Lin Moyu was in a good mood, and his tone became light. If I kill you, it will be mine. You're courting death, the ice demon roared, and the Law Star River appeared above his head, pouring icy laws towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's Law Star River also appeared beneath his feet, the undying Law Star River surging to resist the cold. Although Lin Moyu was strong, he was still only a first-level god venerable. Realm and combat power were different. Relying solely on the Law Star River, he couldn't block the ice demon. A small, sharp sword appeared above his head, the recently acquired Other Shore Realm soul treasure, the Soul Extermination Sword. Let's test the power of this treasure. An Other Shore Realm treasure was difficult to activate with a god venerable's soul. However, Lin Moyu's soul had already reached the Other Shore Realm. Although his soul power was insufficient, activating it once was not a problem. The only question was how much power it could exert. Lin Moyu was purely curious and subconsciously treated the ice demon as a test subject. But for a being of the ice demon's level, he was only fit to be a test subject. Soul power infused into the Soul Extermination Sword, which emitted a purple light, releasing the might of an Other Shore Realm soul treasure. The pressure of the Other Shore Realm swept out, and the ice demon's face changed dramatically. An Other Shore Realm soul treasure. Impossible, how can you activate an Other Shore Realm soul treasure? Lin Moyu, in a good mood, chuckled, nothing is impossible. The Soul Extermination Sword flickered and instantly disappeared. It pierced into the ice demon's soul world at an astonishing speed. Awe! With a sky-shattering scream, the ice demon clutched his head, writhing in agony on the ground. Then Lin Moyu heard a light sound, like glass shattering. The ice demon fell silent, already dead. His soul world had shattered, his soul annihilated, making it impossible for him to live. The Soul Extermination Sword easily killed the ice demon and then returned to Lin Moyu's soul. The power is not bad, another trump card. When I reach the Other Shore Realm, the Soul Extermination Sword's power should be even stronger. Unfortunately, I can't cultivate the Soul Sword Sect's inheritance, so I can only exert 60 to 70% of its power. To fully unleash the power of the Soul Extermination Sword, the Soul Sword Sect's inheritance was needed. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and muttered to himself, if I can find a suitable candidate, I'll give them the Soul Extermination Sword. The inheritance of the sages must not be broken. Lin Moyu held great respect for the sages of the human race. If given the chance, he would certainly revive the Soul Sword Sect's inheritance. Casually collecting the ice demon's corpse, Lin Moyu approached the transparent box, with the gem inside. It seemed that opening the transparent box would grant him the gem, but the box had no opening, making it impossible to open. Even with Lin Moyu's keen observation, he couldn't find an opening, meaning there was none. The only option left was to break it, but it was undoubtedly difficult to break. If it were easy to break, the ice demon would have already succeeded. The ice demon must have been here for a long time but had never managed to break the transparent box. If breaking it isn't the solution, then how do I obtain it? Lin Moyu's first thought was to use soul power. He treated the transparent box as a treasure and tried to communicate with it using his soul. However, as soon as his soul touched the box, it was repelled, and the communication failed. This wasn't a treasure and couldn't be communicated with. Lin Moyu reached out to touch the transparent box. With a bang, his hand was repelled. Looking at his hand, he saw a wound. Purple gold blood rolled under the wound but didn't flow out. He had felt an unimaginable sharpness, not from a law, but from the power of the gold law, cutting through the defense of his purple gold body and injuring his hand. If he hadn't withdrawn his hand quickly enough, his entire hand might have been cut off. Soft methods didn't work, so he tried hard methods. Lin Moyu took out the golden sword and slashed at the transparent box. He wasn't worried about damaging the gem inside. If a gem belonging to the Scourge Staff was so easily damaged, it wouldn't be worthy of being part of the Scourge Staff. Boom! With a loud noise, the golden sword was forcefully repelled, and a tremendous force transmitted through the sword, causing Lin Moyu to lose control and crash into the rock wall. The entire star trembled violently, and countless cracks appeared on the rock wall, as if it were about to collapse. Lin Moyu was shocked. The transparent box was unscathed, but the golden sword had a notch. The golden sword wasn't as hard as the box,